Hello my dear friends, how are you all? I hope you all are good and fantastic. So my dear friends, you are very welcome in our lecture number 5, some application of trigonometry. Okay, so my dear friends, I hope you will enjoy this lecture, and this lecture is going to be very amazing because in this lecture we are going to discuss important questions. Okay, we are going to discuss important questions. So in this whole lecture we are just doing only and only questions. What? Yes, only and only questions. So without wasting the time, let's start. Yes. So the question number 1 is, a circus artist is climbing a 20-meter long rope, okay, which is tightly stretched and tied from the top of a vertical pole to the ground. Okay. Now, find the height of the pole if the angle made by the rope with the ground level is 30 degree. Okay. So, we have a pole AB. This is a pole AB. Okay. And a rope is tied from the top of the pole to the ground. From the top of this pole to the ground, which is of 20-meter long. Okay, now we have to find the height of this pole. Okay, so now my dear friends, we know that in this case we are applying the sine ratio because we know that sine theta is equals to perpendicular upon hypotenuse. Now in this case we have perpendicular, we don't have perpendicular and we have hypotenuse. So with the help of this we can find the value of AB. So sine 30 is equals to AB upon AC. Okay, so now we get, what is the value of sine 30? 1 upon 2. What is the value of AB? There is no value. What is the value of AC? 20. So now from this we get AB is equals to 20 upon 2, which is equals to 10 meter. So we can say height of pole is equals to 10 meter. Is equals to what? Is equals to 10 meter. So this is our answer. So my dear friends, I hope you understand these type of questions. Okay, so now let's move on. Yes, so the second question is, a tree breaks due to storm. Okay, a tree breaks due to storm and broken part bends so that the top of the tree touches the ground, making an angle 30 degree with it. The distance between the foot of the tree to the point where the top touches the ground is 8 meter. Okay, the distance between the foot of the tree to the point where the top touches the ground is 8 meter. Now we have to find the height of the tree. We have to find height of the tree. Okay, so let's find that. So let's suppose we have a tree like this. Okay, this is a tree and this is the ground. Now due to storm, this tree breaks down from here like this, and the top of the tree touches the ground here. This is the broken part. Okay, now it make an angle 30 degree. What? 30 degree. And we know the distance between the top of the tree, which is touches at the ground, and the foot of the tree is 8 meter. 8 meter. Now we have to find the height of the tree. Okay, so first of all find this height, okay, and find this length, and A, this is A, B and C. Okay, now after finding these two sides, we have to add, and then that will be what? That will be the height of the tree. Okay, so let's find that. Yes, so first of all, 10, 30 is equals to AB upon BC, perpendicular upon base. Okay, so it will become 1 upon root 3 is equals to AB upon 8. So we have AB is equals to 8 upon root 3 meter. 8 upon root 3 meter. Okay, now we have to find AC. So how we can find it? We can find it as cos 30 is equals to, this is what we know, that base upon hypotenuse. So we have cos 30 is what? Root 3 upon 2, and base we have 8, and this is our AC. This is our what? AC. So from this we have AC is equals to 8 into 2 divided by root 3, means 16 upon root 3. 16 upon root 3. Okay. Now height of tree is equals to what? AB plus AC. AB plus AC. Okay, now what is AB? We have AB is 8 upon root 3 plus AC is 16 upon root 3. So we get what? We get 24 upon root 3. 24 upon root 3. Okay, my dear friends. Now this is a valid answer. Okay, now we are solving it further. If we multiply by 3 in numerator and denominator, we get 24 root 3 upon 3. Okay, 24 root 3 upon 3, and this will goes to 8 times. So we get 8 root 3 meter. So this is height of tree. So both the answer is correct, 24 upon root 3 or 8 root 3. Okay. Yeah. So now let's move on. So the next question is, question number 3 is, a contractor plans to install 2 slides for the children to play in a park. Okay. 2 slides. Okay. For the children. For the children below the age 5 years. She prefers to have a slide whose top is at a height of 1.5 meter and inclined at an angle of 30 degree to the ground. Whereas for elder children, she wants to have a steep slide at a height of 3 meters and inclined at an angle of 60 degree to the ground. What should be the length of the slide in each case? Okay, so now my dear friends, in first case for children the age below the age of 5 years, for this we have a slide like this. This is 30 degree. Okay, this is 30 degree, and whose top is at a height of 1.5 meter, means this is 1.5 meter height of this from the ground. So this is for below age 5 years. Okay, A, B, C. Now we have to find AC. We can easily find AC with the help of sine 30 degree. So the formula of sine is perpendicular upon hypotenuse, and we have perpendicular is AB, and what is hypotenuse? Hypotenuse is AC. Now we know the value of AB and we have to find AC. Okay, so what is the value of sine 30? This is 1 by 2. What is the value of AB? 1.5, and we have to find AC. So the AC will become 1.5 into 2, which is 3 meter. So the value of AC is 3 meter. This is our first answer. Okay, now there is another slide which is for elders. Okay, A, B and C. Okay, now in this case the angle is 60 degree and height is 3 meter. The angle is 60 degree and height is 3 meter. Okay, again we have to find AC. So sine 60 degree is equals to AB upon AC. So now this is root 3 upon 2, which is equals to 3 upon AC. Okay, now what is the value of AC? Is 3 into 2 upon root 3. Okay, so we can write 3 as root 3 into 2 divided by root 3. So this root 3 will be cancelled. So we get our final answer is, so AC is equals to 2 root 3 meter. Okay, so this is our answer. I hope, my dear friends, you understand these things. So let's move on. So the next question is, the angle of elevation of the top of a tower from a point on the ground which is 30 meter away from the foot of the tower is 30 degree. Okay, find the height of the tower. So let's draw the diagram. What is the diagram? So we have an angle of elevation of the top of the tower from a point on the ground. Let's suppose we have a tower like this. This is a tower and this is a ground. Okay, so let's suppose from this point the angle of elevation is 30 degree. Okay, and the distance between the foot of this point, from the foot of the tower and this point, is 30 meter. Okay, now we have to find this distance, this height. So A, B and C. So this is very easy question, my dear friends. We can easily find this height. How? We know that tan 30 is equals to AB upon BC. So the value of tan 30 is 1 upon root 3. Okay, and we have to find AB, and the value of BC is 30. Okay, now AB is equals to what? 30 upon root 3. Okay, now we have to multiply root 3 in numerator and denominator both. So we get AB is equals to 30 root 3 divided by 3. So this will goes to 10 times. So we have 10 root 3. So the value of AB is what? Value of AB is 10 root 3 meter. 10 root 3 meter. So my dear friends, I hope you get this point, how to solve this question. Let's move on. So the next question is, a 1.5 meter tall boy is standing at the some distance from a 30-meter tall building. Okay, the angle of elevation from his eyes to the top of the building increases from 30 to 60 as he walks towards the building. Find the distance he walked towards the building. Okay, so this is good question and you have to be listen very carefully. So let's suppose we have a building like this. This is a ground and the building is of height. What is of height? 30 meter. Okay, and we have a boy which is 1.5 meter tall. The height of boy is 1.5 meter. So the angle of elevation, so this is the angle of elevation, okay, from his eyes. First is this is 30 and after some time it is increased to 60. It is increased to 60. Now we have to find the distance he walked towards the building. Now we have to find this distance. We have to find what? This distance. Okay, now let's suppose this is A, B, C, D, E and F. Okay, my dear friends. Now the distance is now let's take another point which is A, B, C, D, E, F and this is G. Okay, now my dear friends, this distance AG is 30 minus 1.5. This will become 28.5. AG is 28.5. So we know that EF is parallel to is equals to DC. So EF is equals to DC. If we find the value of EF, we get the value of DC automatically. Okay, yes, so let's find. So first of all we have to find the distance EG. We have to find the distance what? EG. So in triangle this AEG. Okay, in triangle AEG. Okay, tan 30 is equals to AG upon EG. Okay, what is the value of tan 30? 1 upon root 3. What is the value of AG? 28.5 and we have to find EG. So it will become 28.5 root 3 meter. This is what? This is EG. Okay, now we have to find FG. Now we have to find FG. So how we can find it? Now we have to find FG. So for FG we have to take triangle AFG. So triangle in triangle AFG, tan 60 is equals to AG upon FG. Okay, so what is the value of tan 60? Root 3. What is the value of AG? 28.5 divided by FG. Okay, so from this we get FG is equals to 28.5 divided by root 3. Okay, so now yes, so what is the value of EF? The value of EF is EG minus FG. So EG is equals to we can say EF plus FG. EG is equals to EF plus FG, and we have to find EF. So we get EF is equals to EG minus FG, and we know the value of EG is what? EG is 28.5 root 3 minus FG is 28.5 divided by root 3. Okay, now the value of EF is root 3, 28.5 into 3 minus 28.5. If we take the common, we get 28.5 into 2 divided by root 3. Okay, so this will become 57 divided by root 3. Okay, now so we have EF is equals to 57 divided by root 3. This answer is also correct. Now we have to solve it further, because in the denominator there is a term of root 3. So now we have to remove this. For remove this, we have to multiply root 3 in numerator and denominator both. So we get what? We get 57 into root 3 divided by 3. Now 57 divided by 3 is 19 times. So we get EF is equals to 19 root 3 is equals to what? 19 root 3 meter. Okay, so we know that EF is equals to, yes, this DC, and we have to find this DC. EF is equals to DC. So the value of DC is equals to 19 root 3 meter. 19 root 3 meter. This is our required answer. Okay, my dear friends, I hope you get this point. So this is the method to solve these type of questions. Okay, so now let's move on. Yeah, so the next question is, from a point on the ground, the angles of elevation of the bottom and the top of a transmission tower fixed at the top of a 20-meter high building are 45 degree and 60 degree respectively. Now we have to find the height of the tower. Okay, so first of all we have to draw the diagram. So the question states that there is a tower. Okay, there is a tower at the top of a 20-meter high building. So let's suppose this is a ground, and there is a building like this. This is a ground. Okay, and there is a building 20-meter high. Above this there is a tower. Now from the point on the ground like this, okay, from the point of the ground, the angle of elevation of the bottom and top of a transmission. Okay, this is the bottom and this is the top of the tower. So the angle of elevation from the bottom of a ground is 45 degree. Is what? 45 degree. And from the top of a tower is what? From the top of a tower is 60 degree. Is what? 60 degree. So now we have to find this height. Okay, we have to find what? This height of the tower. So let's suppose this is A, B, C, and this is point D. Okay, my dear friends, I hope you get this point. So now first of all we have to find BC. So we can easily find BC. How? We can find this 1045 is equals to DB upon BC. Okay, So we know the value of tan 45, which is 1. DB is 20 and BC is, we don't know. So the value of BC is also 20 meter. So with the help of BC, we can easily find the value of AB. So tan 60 degree is equals to AB upon BC. So AB upon BC, and we know the value of tan 60 is root 3, and AB is AB, and what is the value of BC? BC has 20 meter. Okay, so AB is equals to 20 root 3. AB is equals to what? 20 root 3. So now what is AB? AB is AD plus DB. AB is equals to AD plus DB. Okay, this is equals to 20 root 3. So with the help of this equation, we can find easily the value of AD, which is equals to what? Which is equals to 20 root 3 minus DB. DB is what? 20. So from this we get 20 into root 3 minus 1. Okay. So height of transmission tower is what? Is 20 root 3 minus 1 meter. Okay, so this is our required answer. Okay, my dear friends, I hope you get this point. So now let's move on. Yes, so the next question we have: a statue 1.5 meter tall stands on the top of a pedestal. Stands on the top of a pedestal. From a point on the ground, the angle of elevation of the top of the statue is 60 degree, and from the same point, the angle of elevation the top of the pedestal is 45 degree. So then find the height of the pedestal. Okay, so let's suppose, my dear friends, this is a ground. Okay, so most important thing to solve these questions is the diagram. If we draw the diagram, our half work is done. Okay, our half work is done. Okay, so with the help of this diagram, you can solve question very easily. Okay, my dear friend, so this is our pedestal like this. Let's suppose this is pedestal, and on the pedestal there is a statue. There is a statue of 1.6 meter tall. So this distance is 1.6 meter. Okay, now there is a point on the ground like this. So it is saying that the angle of elevation of the top of the statue means this point, from this point to from the ground, this point, the angle of elevation is what? 60 degree. At the same time, from the same point, the angle of elevation of the top of the pedestal means this point, means bottom of the statue. So this is 45 degree. Okay, now we have to find this height. We have to find this height. Okay, so let's suppose this is A, this is B, this is T, and this is D point. Okay, so my dear friend, first of all, we are taking tan 60 degree. Tan 60 degree is what? AB upon BC. Simple. And what is tan 60 degree? Root 3 is equals to tan 60. And what is AB? AB is 1.6 plus x. We are taking this height as a x. Okay, and here is BC. Okay, now we have BC is equals to 1.6 plus x upon root 3. This is our equation number 1. Okay, now we are applying for tan 45 degree, which is equals to what? Which is equals to x upon BC, which is equals to x upon BC. Now the value of tan 45 is what? The value of tan 45 is 1, which is equals to x upon BC. Now we have BC is equals to x. This is equation second. Now compare equation 1 and second. So this will give x is equals to this 1.6 plus x upon root 3. X is equals to what? 1.6 plus x upon root 3. So this will give root 3x is equals to 1.6 plus x. Okay. Now this x is shifted into the LHS. So we get root 3x minus x, which is equals to 1.6. So this will become, now we are taking x as a common, we get root 3 minus 1, which is equals to 1.6, which is equals to what? 1.6. Okay, my dear friends. Now this will give x is equals to 1.6 upon root 3 minus 1. Root 3 minus 1. Now my dear friends, if you leave this equation here, this is correct, okay, it doesn't matter. But now if we want to solve it further, because if you see in the denominator there is a term of root 3, okay, so now we have to eliminate this. So for eliminating this, we have to multiply its conjugate, means we have to rationalize it. So this will get 3 plus 1 divided by root 3 plus 1. Okay, so we have to multiply in numerator and denominator by root 3 plus 1. Okay, so from this we have x is equals to 1.6 into root 3 plus 1 divided by root 3 minus 1 multiply root 3 minus 1. So this is like plus, this is like a minus b and a plus b. So we get 1.6 multiply root 3 plus 1 divided by root 3 square minus 1 square. Okay, so from this we get x is equals to 1.6 root 3 plus 1 divided by root 3 square means 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. Okay, and if we divide this, we get 0.8. So we have x is equals to 0.8 multiply root 3 plus 1 meter. So this is our final answer, means this is what? This is the height of pedestal. This is the height of what? Pedestal. Okay, understand? Yes. So now let's move to the next question. So the next question is, from the top of a 7-meter high building, the angle of elevation of the top of a cable tower is 60 degree. Is what? 60 degree. And the angle of depression of its foot is 45 degree. Now determine the height of the tower. Okay. So my dear friend, this is a very good question. So you have to listen very carefully. So first of all, we have a high building, 7-meter high building, and a cable tower. So these are most important part of our question. We have a building and a cable tower. So the building is, let's suppose this is a ground. We have a building of 7-meter high. 7 meter high. And we have a tower which is greater than this, which is greater than 7-meter high, because we have an elevation, means we have the elevation from the top of the building to the top of the cable. So we can say that the cable tower is higher than the building. Okay, So now what is the elevation? So the elevation from the top of the building to the top of the cable tower is 60 degree, and angle of depression of its foot is 45 degree. So this is our angle of depression, which is 45 degree. Okay, now determine the height of the tower. So now we have to determine this value. So let's suppose this is A, B, C, D and E. Now we know that DC is equals to EB, which is equals to what? Which is equals to 7 meter. So we have to find just only AE. We have to find what? AE. Okay, my dear friends. So now if we observe this angle is what? This angle is alternate angle. So this is also 45 degree. And with the help of this angle, we can easily find BC, which is equals to DE. Okay, so now tan 45 degree is equals to DC is equals to what? Is equals to DC upon CB. DC what? DC upon CB. Now we know that tan 45 is 1. We have DC is 7. And we have to find CB. So the value of CB is equals to 7 meter. So if the value of CB is 7 meter, then the value of DE is also 7 meter. So tan 60 degree is equals to AE upon DE. And we know that the value of tan 60 is what? √3. And what is AE? We have to find. And what is DE? Which is 7. So we have AE is equals to 7√3 meter. Okay. Now what is the value of AB? So the value of AB is means height of cable tower is what? Is AE upon AE plus EB. AE plus EB. And what is AE? 7√3. What is EB? 7. So we get 7 into √3 plus 1 meter. This is what? This is height of cable tower. Okay, my dear friends, I hope you getting this. This is our answer. Okay, so now let's move to the next question. Next question is, as observed from the top of a 75 meter high lighthouse from the sea level. Okay, 75 meter high lighthouse from the sea level, the angle of depression of two ships are 30 degree and 45 degree. If one ship is exactly behind the other on the same side of the lighthouse, find the distance between two ships. Find the distance between two ships. Okay, so let's find that. So let's suppose this is the sea level. Okay, and we have a lighthouse like this, and this is 75 meter high. We have two ships, ship A and ship B. Okay, so there are two angle of depression. Okay, so this is our first angle of depression and this is our second angle of depression. So we are measuring the angle of depression from the horizontal above the line of sight. Okay, my dear friends. So the angle of depression of part B is what? Is 30 degree. And angle of depression of part A, means ship A, is 45 degree. Okay, So if we observe this angle B and 30 degrees alternate angle, so this is also what, 30 degree. Okay, and this angle is also 45 degree, and we have to find this distance, the distance between two shapes AB. Okay, so let's suppose this is A, B, C and D. Okay, now let's take tan 45 degree, which is equals to DC upon CA. Okay, and we know that 1 is equals to DC is 75 upon CA means ACM. So we have AC is equals to what, 75 meter. Okay, my dear friends. So now tan 30. So tan 30 is, we can say that DC upon CB, DC upon CB. Now what is tan 30? This is 1 upon under root 3. And what is DC? The value of DC is 75. The value of DC is what, 75. And we have to find CB. So CB is equals to 75 root 3. CB is what, 75 root 3 meter. Now we have to find the distance between two shapes A and B. So we know that CB is equals to CA plus AB. Okay, and we know the value of CB, which is 75 root 3. So from this is AB. From this we can easily find the distance AB, which is equals to 75 root 3 minus CA. What is CA? The CA is, this is AB, so the CA is minus 75. Okay, so from this AB is equals to 75 under root 3 minus 1 meter. So this is the distance between the two shapes. This is our correct answer. So my dear friends, I hope you get this point, how to solve these questions, how to deal with these questions. Okay, so my dear friends, based on this chapter, based on this lecture, you are able to solve any type of question based on these topics. Okay, so I hope you understand these things. So this is enough for today, and we will meet in the next lecture. So thank you very much guys for listening me, and take care and goodbye.